Hey YouTube, this is Robert Ness 816 and we're going to be looking at this copy of The Lion King. I've never actually played this game on the Game Boy before, but from what I'm seeing it appears to have a loose connection somewhere on the chip. So with Game Boy games it's actually fairly common for them to have issues where the solder joints loosen up on the chips. So what I'm going to do here is attempt to re-solder both chips on this game here and hopefully fix it. So I've got some flux. Always use sulfur-free flux that is safe for electronics. This is from a company called SRA, I believe. You can buy this stuff on Amazon, and this is flux number 135. As you can see that. I believe it's like 10 bucks or whatever, but that's pretty much all the flux you'll need for the rest of your life. Some solder also. I'm using, I think this is a 50-50 mix between solder and flux. I like to use additional flux anyways, only because the flux that's in a solder is good for like, one or maybe one go, and then after that it turns to shit and you'll get a cold solder joint. A Game Boy for testing. This is just a yellow Game Boy Pocket. And of course your cartridge and a game bit. And a soldering iron. So let's pop it open and see what we get. So this is what most of your typical Game Boy games will look like inside. Some Game Boy Color games will look like this too, except with a square chip instead of a regular looking one here. So this is your ROM chip right here, and this is whatever this chip does. Not even sure what it does, but this is the one that you're really concerned with. So say you have a Game Boy game where you've cleaned it a bunch of times, and no matter what you do, you're getting graphical glitches. The Nintendo logo is always messed up. Having a loose solder joint here on this ROM here, or even this chip, could be the cause. So what we're going to do here is attempt to resolder that. So what I'm going to do is take some flux and apply it on each pin here. And then I'm going to take a small amount of solder, which is why I have this little bit of solder here, very small gauge of solder, and also a very fine tip of my soldering iron, and I'm going to actually solder each pin on this game to make sure that they have a good connection again. So we'll cut back to what this looks like after I'm finished. Okay, so we're back with the finished product. So this is what my new solder joints look like. There you go. Got some hair in there too. I guess I gotta clean it out with a toothbrush. But anyways, yeah, the solder joints look great. And, oops, definitely time consuming. But kind of worth it, I guess, if you can make one of these games work again. So, oops, I keep hitting the camera, sorry. So there you go. Nice looking solder joints. So anyways, I'll clean out the rest of that hair off of there, and we'll see if this game works. Okay, so at least this video has a successful outcome today, so the game works perfectly fine. Resoldering it did the trick for this particular game, and there you go. Kind of odd though too, because usually when a game like this has an issue, it won't pass the Nintendo boot screen, or if it does get the boot screen, it will have a weird, it'll all be pixelated pretty much, like you'll have, the game will still be dirty. So this one, I guess, I don't know, something else was wrong with it, but resoldering a chip fixed it, so there you go.